this evening. First, reckless driving caught on camera leads to the arrest of 2 drivers. We'll tell you how their dangerous behavior has landed them in serious legal trouble. Next, in legal news, a new bill could bring relief for spouses by making it easier for them to access their deceased partner's assets. Find out what changes are coming to estate administration in Guyana. Then, tragedy on the East Coast. A devastating fire destroys a pillow factory and home, leaving a businessman facing $50 million in losses. We have the details of this heartbreaking story. Also, the government is ramping up support for hinterland agriculture with an additional $1.1 billion investment. Learn how this funding will impact food security and self-sufficiency in remote communities. And in Mexico, a nationwide strike by judges and judicial workers is challenging President López Obrador's plans to overhaul the justice system. What's at stake for the future of Mexico's courts? Stay tuned for these stories and more coming up on tonight's broadcast. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for August 22nd, 2024. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, 2 drivers have been arrested in connection with a viral video showing reckless and dangerous driving on social media. The incident involved a red Canter GAC 1877 and a white hauler truck GAB 849, which were seen driving hazardously, posing a danger to other road users. The drivers, 30-year-old Jason Andres Dennis and 33-year-old Clive Richmond, were apprehended by police yesterday after being identified from the video. Both men admitted to being the drivers involved in the incident. Their vehicles have been impounded and both drivers are in custody. They will be charged with dangerous driving and are scheduled to appear in court soon. On a different note, Attorney General Anil Nandlal has introduced the Deceased Persons Estate Administration Amendment Bill 2024 to make it easier for common law spouses to access the assets of their deceased partners and reduce the financial strain on grieving families. Currently, only legal spouses, children, or siblings can apply to the court to manage a deceased person's estate if there is no will. The new bill will extend this right to common law spouses as well. Additionally, families will soon be able to withdraw up to $750,000 from a deceased person's account, such as those held at credit unions, without needing to go through the court process. This change aims to make it easier to access money from various sources, not just bank accounts. The bill will be debated in the National Assembly in an upcoming session. In other news, a devastating fire of unknown origin destroyed a pillow factory and home in College in East Coast Demerara on Wednesday morning, leaving the owner in financial distress. The blaze, which started between 9 and 10 a.m., consumed several vehicle parts and a truck that was parked in the compound. Neighbors said they noticed dark smoke, likely due to burning sponge material, and tried to prevent the fire from spreading to their homes. Despite their efforts, the fire quickly engulfed the factory and the owner's home. The businessman, only named given as Azad, estimated his losses at around $50 million. The cause of the fire remains unknown. Stick around when we return. 64 wells to be drilled in hinterland regions by the year end, and Amerindian leaders encouraged to promote youth recruitment into discipline services.
Experience more than award-winning speed.
Way more.
Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
Who's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common flaws make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell announced that 64 new wells will be drilled in the hinterland regions by the end of 2024. This is part of the government's push to improve access to potable water. Speaking at the National Tushaus Council Conference, Crowell highlighted the government's significant investment of over $4.9 billion since 2020, which has already led to the drilling of 95 wells. With an additional $600 million in supplemental funding, the total budget for 2024 reaches $2.1 billion. The drilling project will be conducted in regions 1, 2, 7, 8, and 9, bringing the total number of wells drilled over 4 years to 139. Current potable water coverage stands at 79 to 94% across the hinterland, with the goal of achieving 100% coverage by 2025. The government is also injecting $32 million into village economies through 16 contracts for water system construction and community participation projects to boost local economies. Meanwhile, the government has announced an additional $1.1 billion investment in hinterland and riverine communities to boost agricultural output and promote self-sufficiency. This raises the total allocation for hinterland agriculture to $2 billion in 2024, with $4.5 billion already spent on enhancing food systems. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa made the announcement at the National Tushaus Council Conference. Key projects include building water reservoirs, clearing land for farming, expanding crop production, and constructing agro-processing facilities. Regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 are set to benefit from these initiatives, which also aims to strengthen livestock and aquaculture sectors. Continuing on our coverage of the National Tushaus Council Conference, on Wednesday, Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben urged Indigenous leaders to encourage hinterland youths to join the discipline services. The initiative aims to diverse the forces and strengthen local communities with professionals from within. Minister Ben called for 300 to 500 annual recruits from Amerindian villages, emphasizing the benefits of locals serving in their regions which would improve relationships, understanding, and task execution. He highlighted ongoing government efforts to modernize the Guyana Police Force, the Fire Service, and the Prison Service. Leaders were also reminded of their roles in combating transnational crimes, and requests were made for firearm and road license services to be available in hinterland areas. Don't go away after the break. South Korea-US joint drills, military exercises held to deter North Korea, and Kiev inspired by inclusion into Russia's Kursk region.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speed Test, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringbang, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Cheaply with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's the best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton, and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Mexico's judges and judicial workers are on strike against President Andrés Manuel López Obrador's controversial plans to overhaul the justice system. He wants to get rid of all the Supreme Court judges, along with thousands of others across the country, and replace them via a popular vote. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports.
Federal judges and judicial workers across Mexico are on strike. That's because President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is trying to overhaul the justice system. Specifically, he wants to replace the entire Supreme Court and then pick a new set of justices along with 1,600 other federal judges and magistrates. And he wants to do it by popular vote. He says it will clear out dodgy judges.
What we want to do is correct and disappear corruption, above all at the top level, judges and justices. Not all, but many of them let organised crime figures and white-collar criminals go free.
But Mexican judges say that putting positions up for vote risks the independence of the judiciary.
This means that everyone in the judiciary will have to go on campaign to become a judge. To be independent and be able to judge someone, I have to be in a position completely isolated from the centre of power in the country. And right now, it's the other way around. They're putting us closer to the world of power, business, political parties.
But most people believe that Mexico's justice system does need change. Almost half of Mexicans say they have little or very little confidence in the justice authorities, and you can see the banners of protest against the Supreme Court, which we're just outside. But in what seems like a failed system, is it really the judges that are the problem? Not so, says Tyler Matiachi from Human Rights Watch.
The main problem in Mexico's justice system isn't that judges are corrupt, it's not that courts are corrupt, it's that Mexican prosecutors, who are supposed to investigate and prosecute all crimes, are just not very good at investigating and prosecuting crimes. Only around 10% of all of the investigations that are opened every year actually lead to criminal charges before the court. Only around 10% of those cases, so 1% of all of the cases, actually lead to a trial. And the vast majority of investigations, even into really serious crimes like homicides, disappearances, human rights abuses, are just archived or closed without being solved.
It's also noticeable that the Supreme Court, which the president wants to replace, has been one of the few institutions that has provided opposition to his plans. Now he looks to have the congressional majority he needs to change them out in a vote expected before his term ends this October. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
Internationally, South Korea is holding nationwide civil defense drills, an annual event aimed at preparing the public for a possible attack by North Korea. This year, they're being staged simultaneously with joint military exercises with the US, and it all comes at a time of heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. Al Jazeera's Rob McBride reports.
It's an annual event designed to prepare South Korea for the unthinkable, a massive attack from North Korea. Here in Seoul, as in cities nationwide, people are encouraged to respond to air raid sirens and seek shelter. It's the highlight of a week of civil defense drills coinciding with military exercises that include the largest number of joint missions by US and South Korean warplanes.
This training aims to review the government's emergency preparedness and to strengthen the ability to transition to wartime operations.
Practically all public servants are taking part, including Seoul's mayor.
Seoul has numerous important strategic locations that must never be compromised. No matter the circumstances, it must be protected in any situation.
Also taking part, armed units trained to deal with attacks by North Korean special forces, who have shown in the past the threat they pose. In 1968, an incursion by commandos from the north reached the center of Seoul in a bid to assassinate the president before they were finally beaten. In response, these exercises have been held every year since.
Public enthusiasm for these civil defense drills varies from year to year, often depending on the perceived threat from North Korea. And right now, inter-Korean relations are at about the worst they've been for a number of years.
The North has been launching thousands of trash-filled balloons across the heavily fortified border, while South Korea has been blaring propaganda from loudspeakers back across the barbed wire.
It appears North Korea is sending these balloons to disturb our society and create a sense of unease among our citizens.
In spite of the heightened tensions, when the sirens sounded for Thursday's nationwide drill, most people seem to carry on as usual, having learned to live with the threat level, whatever it may be. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
Finally, according to Ukraine's president, the incursion into Western Russia is intended to prevent further attack by Moscow across the border. Al Jazeera's Alex Gotopoulos reports.
The Kursk offensive inside Russia has been a morale boost for Ukrainians used to bad news on their side of the border.
The situation was uncertain, it was hard to watch, it was protracted, and it dragged on. We don't know what this will lead to, but we all have our hopes high. It seems like a courageous and important step, especially to keep up morale.
This will change the situation in our favor. The question is how much, but I hope it will be felt, compared to what else happened in this war.
Kyiv's defense ministry says that both the Ukrainian Air Force and precision US-manufactured HIMARS rockets have destroyed most of the bridges across the same river in the Kursk region. That's aimed at cutting off supplies to Russian forces, all but trapped on the near side of the river. The destruction of the bridges is part of Ukraine's successful strategy to be able to deny Russia its supply lines. But back in Ukraine, the situation isn't nearly as bright, as Ukrainian defenders are very much on the defensive. The fighting in the east near Pokrovsk has intensified. Ukrainian units are slowly being pushed back as the Russian army steadily advances. The town is vital for supplying Ukrainian troops and for controlling the Donetsk region.
It will certainly be a pity if we have to completely conditionally surrender the Donetsk region. We have been dying for it for several years now.
With Pokrovsk such an important prize for Russia, fighting is set to intensify in the coming days. Alex Gotopoulos, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 5:30 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.